Welcome to Moments in History channel. Have you ever heard of an empire that terrified Rome? An empire built on the sea, led by one of history's most brilliant generals, and whose fall was so complete that its story almost vanished. Today, we're diving into the legendary world of the Carthaginian Empire. Our story begins around the 9th century BCE on the coast of modern-day Tunisia. Here, Phoenician settlers from the city of Tyre founded a new colony called Carthage. What started as a small outpost would grow into one of the most powerful empires the ancient world had ever seen. The secret to Carthage's success was simple: the sea. They were the undisputed masters of the Mediterranean. Their ships, loaded with goods, sailed from the shores of North Africa to the coasts of Spain, Sardinia, and Sicily. Imagine a bustling harbor filled with vessels carrying precious metals, textiles, and exotic goods. The Carthaginians weren't just traders, they were innovators. Their navigational skills were legendary, allowing them to establish trade routes that brought immense wealth back to their capital city. This wealth fueled a vibrant society. Carthage was a hub of craftsmanship, known for its finely crafted goods that were sought after across the known world. Its government wasn't run by a single king, but by a council of aristocrats and elected officials, all heavily influenced by a powerful merchant class. Money talked in Carthage, and business was king. Spiritually, the Carthaginians held on to their Phoenician roots. They worshipped deities like Baal-Hamon, the chief god, and Tanit, the celestial goddess. These gods were central to their identity, their rituals echoing traditions from their ancestral homeland in the Levant. This cultural connection was a thread that ran through their entire civilization, from their art to their daily lives. Now let's talk about their military. While Carthage is famous for its navy, its land army was a fascinating and complex force. Unlike the citizen soldiers of Rome, Carthage often relied on mercenaries. Imagine an army composed of warriors from all corners of their empire and beyond: fierce Numidian cavalry from North Africa, skilled slingers from the Balearic Islands, and tough Iberian infantry from Spain. This diverse fighting force was a double-edged sword. It gave them access to a wide range of specialized skills, but loyalty could sometimes be bought by the highest bidder. However, under the right leadership, this mercenary army could be unstoppable. And that brings us to the man whose name is synonymous with Carthage, Hannibal Barca. Hannibal is considered one of the greatest military commanders in history, and for good reason. His strategic genius and audacious tactics would bring the mighty Roman Republic to its knees. The stage for this epic confrontation was a series of 3 brutal conflicts known as the Punic Wars. These wars weren't just battles, they were a struggle for control of the entire Western Mediterranean. Rome was a rising land power, expanding its influence, and Carthage was the established maritime superpower. A collision was inevitable. The First Punic War was largely a naval conflict, as Rome scrambled to build a fleet that could challenge Carthage's dominance at sea. It was a long and grueling war, but it set the stage for the even greater conflict to come. The Second Punic War is where the legend of Hannibal was truly forged. In one of the most daring military maneuvers of all time, Hannibal decided to take the fight directly to Rome, but he didn't come by sea. Instead, he marched his army, including dozens of war elephants, from Spain through Gaul and over the treacherous snow-covered Alps. It was an unbelievable feat that caught the Romans completely by surprise. Once in Italy, Hannibal unleashed a reign of terror. He outsmarted and outmaneuvered Roman armies time and time again. His masterpiece was the Battle of Cannae, where he used a brilliant encirclement tactic to annihilate a much larger Roman force. It was a devastating defeat for Rome, one that shook the Republic to its very core. For years, Hannibal rampaged through the Italian peninsula, but he could never deliver the final knockout blow. Rome, with its vast resources and unyielding determination, refused to surrender. They adopted a strategy of avoiding direct battle with Hannibal while attacking Carthaginian territories elsewhere. Eventually, Rome sent a general, Scipio Africanus, to invade Carthage's homeland in North Africa. This forced Hannibal to abandon Italy and return to defend his city. The 2 legendary generals finally met at the Battle of Zama. This time, it was Rome that emerged victorious. The defeat marked the end of the Second Punic War and the beginning of the end for Carthage. Carthage was stripped of its territories, its navy was dismantled, and it was forced to pay a massive indemnity to Rome. For decades, it existed as a shadow of its former self, but Rome's fear and hatred of its old rival never faded. The famous Roman senator Cato the Elder would end every speech he gave, no matter the topic, with the words, "Carthago delenda est," Carthage must be destroyed. And so, the Third Punic War began. It was less a war and more of a final, brutal siege. In 146 BCE, after a heroic but doomed defense, the city of Carthage fell. The Romans showed no mercy. They systematically destroyed the city, burning it to the ground and ensuring that their great rival would never rise again. The Carthaginian Empire was erased from the map. So, what is the legacy of Carthage? For centuries, our understanding of them was shaped almost entirely by their enemies, the Romans and Greeks, who painted them as cruel and treacherous. But archaeology and modern scholarship have given us a more balanced picture. We now see a sophisticated civilization of master sailors, shrewd merchants, and skilled artisans. The story of Carthage is a powerful reminder of how history is often written by the victors. Though their city was destroyed and their empire dismantled, their influence lingers. They connected the Mediterranean world through trade, spread cultural ideas, and in Hannibal produced a military genius whose tactics are still studied today. The Carthaginian Empire may have fallen, but its epic tale of ambition, brilliance, and tragic defeat continues to capture our imagination. A ghost empire that still haunts the shores of the Mediterranean. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the ancient world, don't forget to like, subscribe to Moments in History channel, and hit that notification bell for more stories from history. See you next time.